Hare Krishna. Welcome to our program. Our speaker of the day is Shriman Gaurang Darshan Prabhu. He has done his master's degree from the prestigious Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. Prabhuji is a disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, who is a senior disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He is also a member of ISKCON Examination Board and takes classes on Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and Vaishnav etiquettes. He has written elaborate workbooks on Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, with which the students can dive into intricacies of these great scriptures. He is a compiler of many other educational booklets and magazines, thus helping the seekers of Bhagavad knowledge. In all, he is a living encyclopedia of scriptures preaching the science all over the world, and who is exemplary and lives whatever he preaches. Come, let's hear him and try to imbibe the essence of scriptures as presented by him. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We have discussed the first two shlokas of Damodar Leela, the 10th canto, 9th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yashoda Mata, very early in the morning on Deepavali day, she started churning butter for her beloved child Krishna. She wanted to please Krishna, she wanted to serve Krishna by personally churning butter. She did not engage any of her servants in this activity. As she was churning butter, Sukadeva Goswami was describing her beauty. Kshaumam vasah pruthukatitate bibhrati sutranadham putra snehasnuta kuchayugam jatakampam cha subhrum rajvakarsha shrama bhujachalat kankane kundalaucha svinnam vaktram kabarayugalam malati nirmamantha. He says, Kshaumam vasaha pruthukatitate bibhrati sutranadham. So Yashodamai was wearing a beautiful yellowish saffron sari. Kshaumam vasaha pruthukatitate bibhrati sutranadham, and she is also wearing a beautiful waist belt. Putra sneha snuta kucha yugam jata kampam cha subhru. Because of her deep affection for her beloved child Krishna, this milk was pouring out automatically from her body, and her eyebrows were very expressively moving. Jata kampam cha subhru. Rajvakarsha shrama bhuja chalat means because of her hard labor, her hard work of just pulling this rope, churning rope, very with great strength. So she was getting little tired. Rajvakarsha shrama bhuja chalat, and shrama is endeavor, and her kundal and kankan, her bangles and her earrings were swinging. They were making sounds as she was making this butter. So the churning rod is making the sound of a mridanga as it was being rotated by Mother Yashoda's hands within the butter pot. And this kartals, these bangles were making the sound of kartal. Rajvakarsha shrama bhuja chalat, kankana and kundala. Svinnam vaktram kabara yugalam malati nirmamantha. And her voice is completely engaged in glorifying Krishna's childhood activities. And she was wearing malati flowers in her hairs, and because of this movement, that those flowers were falling off. Some of the flowers were falling off. Some flowers were thinking that, oh, Yashoda Mata is such a great devotee, how can I stay on her head? I am supposed to be falling at the feet of Mother Yashoda. So all these beautiful flowers, they started falling off. So all the flowers or fruits or animals or even churning rod, churning rope, all these are great personalities in Vrindavan. So they are all conscious. Their only aim is to render service to Krishna. So Yashoda Mata is churning in this way. Her voice is engaged in singing Krishna's glories. Her ears are engaged in hearing what she was singing, and her hands were engaged in churning butter. Her mind is absorbed in remembrance of Krishna. So like that, her entire existence is dedicated to Krishna consciousness. Acharyas say that those who are aspiring to follow in the footsteps of Mother Yashoda and cultivate Vatsalya feelings or parental feelings for Krishna. So Mother Yashoda is the epitome or the topmost example of parental affection for Krishna, and she is the right example or ideal for all the devotees who are trying to cultivate such Vatsalya feelings towards Krishna. When Mother Yashoda was churning butter in one room, Krishna was sleeping in another room, and somehow Krishna just got up. When a devotee, when a pure devotee is rendering sincere service to the Lord immediately wants to reciprocate with that seva. So Krishna just got up from his sleep. Generally, whenever Krishna gets up from sleep, he would see Mother Yashoda close by, but somehow on that day, on that Diwali day, Krishna did not find Mother Yashoda. Why? Because Mother Yashoda is churning butter for him in another room. So Krishna got up and he felt, how can Mother Yashoda neglect me? I am very hungry. As soon as I get up, she has to attend to me. How can Mother Yashoda do something else, neglecting me? So Krishna felt little bad and little morose, disappointed. He just got up. Tam stanyakama asadya mathanatim jananim harihi. He became stanyakama, means Krishna became desirous of mother's milk. He was hardly 2-3-year-old boy. So Krishna immediately became hungry. As soon as he got up, he wanted to drink mother's milk. He was searching for his mother. He was crying. He got up, stanyakama asadya mathanatim jananim harihi. He started searching for his mother and came from his bedroom to where Mother Yashoda is churning. And Krishna came to Mother Yashoda and he immediately caught the churning rod. He was thinking, Mother Yashoda is engaged in churning without attending to me. What is the use of her engagement in this way when I am right in front? So I have to stop this churning immediately. How to stop churning? So Mother Yashoda was churning with this churning rod and Krishna caught the churning rod. If he had caught her hand or legs or whatever, she could have continued, but by catching the churning rod, churning will immediately stop. Krishna is intelligent. Although he is a 2-3-year-old boy, he could understand how churning can be stopped. Mother Yashoda noticed this. Oh, my child is growing. My child is becoming more and more intelligent. Although he is a 2-3-year-old boy, still he has the intelligence to just hold the churning rod to stop churning. Mother Yashoda is very impressed with the intelligence of Krishna. So Krishna stopped churning. Krishna stopped the churning and then he immediately jumped into the lap of Mother Yashoda. And Yashoda was already affectionate towards Krishna, and because of her deep parental loving affection, milk is spontaneously sprouting from her body and it was flowing, and Krishna just right there just to receive her service in the form of milk. So Krishna just jumped into the lap of Mother Yashoda. Krishna just entered the lap of Mother Yashoda without any invitation. Whenever a devotee has to offer some bhoga, some food item to the Lord, the devotee has to chant so many mantras, idam asanam, swagatam, then you have to chant so many mantras, you have to purify the bhoga with various mudras, and then the curtain has to be closed and the bhoga is left with the Supreme Lord, the deities, for a while, and then the devotee would ring a bell and then go inside and then remove the bhoga. So, to offer some food item to the Lord in the form of deity, a sadhaka, a practicing devotee has to undergo various rules and regulations. But here is Mother Yashoda, she did not invite Krishna into her lap. So idam asanam is not meant to be spoken by Mother Yashoda. It is spoken by some practicing devotee. Krishna considers Yashoda's lap as his own property. So he did not receive any invitation to sit in mother's lap. So he just jumped into Mother Yashoda's lap and stopped the churning, and Yashoda immediately picked him up and lovingly started feeding her milk to Krishna. And as Mother Yashoda was feeding her milk to Krishna, there was a transcendental competition between Mother Yashoda's milk and Krishna's hunger. He is just a 2-3-year-old boy. How much milk a 2-3-year-old boy can drink? But Krishna has unlimited appetite to drink Mother Yashoda's milk, because that milk is not just some milk that is available in this world. That is a transformation of her pure spiritual love in parental affection. So Yashoda's love is being presented in the form of her milk, and Krishna's hunger is being presented in the form of his reciprocation with the love of his devotees. So Krishna is reciprocating with Mother Yashoda's love, and Yashoda is showing so much love. Yashoda is feeding so much milk to Krishna, and Krishna is drinking all that milk. So there was a transcendental competition between how much a devotee can love Krishna and how much God can receive that love and reciprocate with that love. So when a mother cooks some food and feeds the child, reciprocates with the mother by eating all that food. When the food is taken by the child, mother feels very happy and satisfied. Similarly, Mother Yashoda is feeding milk, and if Krishna drinks all that milk, Yashoda becomes very happy. So Krishna is drinking milk, and this feeding of milk happened for a long while. It happened for quite some time. So Yashoda's body is generating torrents of milk. It's like rain coming. And Yashoda, as she was feeding milk to Krishna, Krishna was compared to a Chataka bird. A Chataka bird is described to be very eager to accept all the drops of rain. The bird would take only rainwater. You will not go to anywhere and then drink water. So Krishna is like a Chataka bird, and Mother Yashoda's milk is like torrents of rain, and Krishna is just hungrily accepting a lot of milk. So there was a great competition. Although great quantities of milk are coming from Mother Yashoda's body, Krishna is not getting satiated. Krishna's hunger is not satisfied. He is drinking and drinking and drinking. But in this transcendental competition, sometimes Mother Yashoda's love defeats Krishna. How? Krishna is drinking all the milk that is coming from her body, but sometimes some little droplets of milk will overflow from his mouth, and they form little rivulets of milk on his beautiful bluish face. So he has a bluish face, and these droplets of milk that are coming out of his face are looking like pearls. So it is such a beautiful scene. So Mother Yashoda is feeding like this, and Krishna is drinking like this, and it went for a long time. Suddenly, Mother Yashoda has heard a sound from the kitchen. So she kept some Padmagandha milk for boiling in the kitchen, and that milk started overflowing. Why? Because the milk is also conscious entity in spiritual world, in Vrindavan. So milk started thinking that, oh, Yashoda is giving her milk to Krishna, and what is the use of my existence? Krishna may not drink me. This Padmagandha milk, which is conscious, that milk also wants to render service to Krishna. So the milk started thinking that, what is the use of my existence? Krishna is not going to drink me. His hunger is completely satisfied just by Mother Yashoda's milk. He doesn't need me anymore. In the disappointment, the milk started overflowing. So it's some great devotees say that the milk is kind of committing suicide. So it's just jumping into the fire because of the disappointment. So the milk started overflowing from the vessel, and it's going into the fire, and that sound reached Mother Yashoda's ears. Actually, Mother Yashoda is absorbed in feeding, but although Mother Yashoda is absorbed in feeding milk to Krishna, this Padmagandha milk which is boiling on the stove is also meant for Krishna's service. So Yashoda got up. Yashoda kept Krishna aside. She just got up from her sitting place and ran into the kitchen so that she can stop this milk from boiling. So when Mother Yashoda interrupted her service to Krishna, the milk that is overflowing in the kitchen, the milk started thinking, oh, how sinful am I? So I unnecessarily interrupted the loving service of Mother Yashoda. The milk automatically went inside. So, but Mother Yashoda nevertheless went and she just rectified the scene. But in this context, we need to understand, Acharyas gives so many explanations why Mother Yashoda left. Just for that few liters of milk which is boiling in the stove, how can Mother Yashoda interrupt Krishna's service? So when she is feeding Krishna and Krishna is very eagerly receiving her milk, how can she stop it? Let that milk go away. So why can't Mother Yashoda continue? Or some say, at least Mother Yashoda could have taken Krishna along with her while feeding milk into the kitchen and then rectified the pan. But she did not do that. Yashoda just kept Krishna aside and ran into the kitchen. How is this possible? First thing, one should never minimize the position of Mother Yashoda. One should never minimize the parental affection that Mother Yashoda has for Krishna. Acharyas very clearly say that Yashoda is the epitome of Vatsalya affection. Her love and affection for Krishna is unparalleled and she is the best of all the Vatsalya devotees. For example, Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj are parents of Krishna and Devaki Vasudeva are also parents of Krishna. Kausalya and Dasarath Maharaj, they are parents of Ramachandra. Aditi and Kashyapa, they are parents of Vamanadev. Like that, in various forms of Krishna, Krishna had sets of parents, different parents. Of all those devotees who are having parental affection for Krishna, Mother Yashoda is the topmost. She is the epitome. Sukadeva Goswami glorifies her. Nemam virincho na bhavo na shri rapyanga samshrayat prasadam lebhire gopi yattat prapa vimuktidat. Na imam virincho. Even Brahma did not receive the mercy received by Yashoda. Even Shiva did not receive the mercy that Yashoda has received. Even Lakshmi, who is so dear consort of Krishna, Supreme Lord Narayana, she also did not receive the blessing that Mother Yashoda has received. Her position is superior to Lakshmi also. Her position, Yashoda's position is superior to Brahma and Shiva also. She is such a great devotee. So one can never think that Yashoda has neglected Krishna. She did not feed milk to Krishna. This is not correct. One should not think like that. Actually, Yashoda is rendering her service to Krishna by feeding milk to Krishna. And Yashoda was also keeping the Padmagandha milk that was boiling over in the kitchen. That is also meant for Krishna's service only. Sometimes there could be a conflict between two services. A devotee at the same time may be expected to do two services. So which service gets the priority? So Prabhupada very wonderfully explains, Dadami buddhi yogantam yenamam upayantite. Buddhi, that intelligence is given by Krishna to a devotee. What service should get priority? I have two things to do at one time, so which one should I choose? One cannot do two things at a time. So Yashoda Mai chose to protect Padmagandha milk than this, because although her milk is also meant to be rendering service to Krishna, this Padmagandha milk also is meant for the service of Krishna, still she made a choice, let me protect Padmagandha milk now and I can come back just within a minute and continue to feed Krishna. So why should I unnecessarily interrupt my service? Why should I unnecessarily deprive that Padmagandha milk from just serving Krishna? So she chose that this is appropriate, I should protect that milk and then come back and continue my feeding to Krishna. She never said, I am not going to feed Krishna anymore. So this is not neglect, this is also an expression of love. Sometimes a devotee may have to give some priority to some future service and he may have to interrupt the current service little bit for a minute or two. So giving priority to some future service means something that is meant for the future service of Krishna is not wrong. So Yashodamayi did that. Then third reason that Acharyas give is that Yashodamayi is the queen of cowherd community, and this Krishna is the prince of cowherd community. So Krishna is so young, just 2-3-year-old boy. So he does not know how to protect the cow products. The cowherd community, the main wealth of cowherd community is cow products, milk, butter, yogurt, ghee. So these are the products, this is the wealth or treasure of cowherd community, and Krishna is not mature enough at that stage to protect his wealth. So Yashodamayi was protecting that wealth of cowherd community for Krishna's sake. So parents may sometimes temporarily displease their children for the welfare of children only, for the future welfare of children. For example, a child may not be studying properly, so he may not be willing to go to school, but the parents may force the child to go to school for the child's benefit only, for future benefit. So like that, Yashodamayi, for the future service of Krishna, she interrupted her current service. So that is also justified. And Yashodamata has done it with great love and affection. Hare Krishna.
For more such devotional programs, please watch Hare Krishna television. To get this channel, please contact your cable or DTH operator. For more information, please call 8767 845 845.